Gaza genocide, no impunity for Israel and its backers. The world watched Gaza burn and the death toll soared. Hundreds of journalists, thousands of civilians, children, women, and the elderly were slaughtered. By August 11, 2025, Israel's actions had killed over 274 journalists, 269 of them Palestinian, and tens of thousands of civilians. This was not a random act of war, it was a calculated campaign of genocide, a systematic assault on human life, truth, and justice. Yet the tragedy does not end with Israel alone. Governments that provided political, military, and financial support to Israel during this genocide, the United States, the European Union, Turkey, Australia, and others, must also be held accountable. Support for Israel's war machine implicates these countries as complicit in crimes against humanity. Spain's call for justice. Spain's Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez was one of the first world leaders to speak the truth. A ceasefire or peace deal must not erase the responsibility of those committing atrocities. He said, "There cannot be impunity." These words are a stark reminder. The genocide in Gaza cannot be buried under diplomacy, media distraction, or selective silence. Every government that supported Israel materially, politically, or diplomatically shares in the moral and legal responsibility for the bloodshed. Providing weapons, funding, and political cover is complicity. Every bomb dropped on Gaza with foreign support is on their hands as well. Israel's systematic campaign of genocide. Independent reports from CPJ, IFJ, RSF, UN agencies, and human rights organizations document that Israel and the IDF deliberately targeted journalists, hospitals, shelters, and civilian infrastructure in Gaza. Airstrikes, drones, artillery, and sniper fire were used not only against armed militants but also against those whose only crime was reporting the truth. 274 journalists killed, over 95% Palestinian, silencing the very people the world relies on to see the truth. Homes, hospitals, and media offices targeted, violating international humanitarian law and Geneva Conventions. Patterns of repeated attacks showing intent and strategy to erase witnesses. This is genocide, a targeted, deliberate campaign to eliminate a people's ability to survive, document their suffering, and resist oppression. Complicity of international backers. The genocide cannot be understood in isolation. Countries that enabled Israel's actions bear direct responsibility. United States provided billions in military aid, political backing at the UN, and diplomatic cover. European Union funded arms deals and supported Israel in international fora despite evidence of crimes. Turkey and Australia, political support and military cooperation facilitated Israel's continued operations. Every country that ignored, enabled, or justified Israel's war crimes contributed to this massacre, making them co-responsible for impunity. Legal perspective. Under international law, genocide and crimes against humanity are punishable, not only for the primary actors but for those complicit through material support. Journalists and civilians are protected under the Geneva Conventions. Attacks against them constitute war crimes. Governments supporting aggressors can face legal scrutiny under the principles of complicity and joint criminal responsibility. Pedro Sánchez's statement reflects a growing consensus. The end of a conflict does not erase legal and moral responsibility. The architects of the Gaza genocide, along with their supporters, must answer for their crimes in international courts. Demand for accountability. Israel and the IDF must be investigated and prosecuted for genocide, war crimes, and crimes against humanity. Complicit governments must face scrutiny and legal accountability for funding, arming, and politically protecting Israel. Independent investigations by the UN and the International Criminal Court, ICC, must be launched and empowered without political interference. The world must remember the victims, from journalists like Salah al-Jafarawi and Abdelkader Bey to tens of thousands of civilians, and demand justice for every life taken. Conclusion. No impunity. Gaza is a warning and a lesson. The slaughter of journalists, the targeting of civilians, and the backing of aggressors by foreign powers cannot be forgotten. There can be no impunity, no turning a blind eye, and no selective memory. The genocide in Gaza must be met with justice, accountability, and a firm international stance. Israel and its enablers must answer for every death, every bomb, and every crime committed. The world must act, and it must act now, or the silence will be another crime.